Hi guys, this is IGCSE O-Level Chemistry, paper 12, November 2014, question 1. Ethanol is made by fermentation. How is ethanol obtained from the fermentation mixture? By chromatography. Chromatography is used to separate the different components of a sample but not in the liquid form. So this is not it. By crystallization, ethanol is a liquid. It cannot be crystallized because it will evaporate before it actually crystallizes at the temperature used. So this is not it. Electrolysis of ethanol will not separate ethanol for us. And fractional distillation. Fractional distillation is used to separate liquids according to their boiling point. So using this technique, we can use the boiling point of ethanol to separate it from the rest of the mixture produced in fermentation. So this means option D is the correct option for this question. Question 2. Which statement is an example of diffusion? A kitchen towel soaks up some spilt milk. No, this is example of soaking, not diffusion. Ice cream melts in a warm room. This is an example of melting, not diffusion. Pollen from flowers is blown by the wind. This is solid being spread by air pressure, not diffusion. The smell of cooking spreads through a house. Yes, because the smell of cooking is basically a gas, and when it spreads throughout the house, it moves from the area of high concentration, which is the kitchen, and throughout the house is the area of lower concentration. So this is a gas diffusing in the house. So option D is the correct option for this question. Question 3. A mixture is separated using the apparatus shown. So we have a funnel, we have a filter paper, the mixture is passed through the filter paper, there is some residue and we have collected the filtrate. What is a mixture? Aqueous, copper, chloride and copper. So copper chloride is soluble, so it will pass through as the filtrate, and copper is a solid, it will be present in the residue. So this seems correct. Let's look at the other options. Aqueous copper chloride and sodium chloride. So since both are soluble, they will not be able to be separated using filtration. Ethane and methane. Ethane and methane are both liquids. None of them is a solid, so filtration will not be applied in their separation. Ethanol and water. Again, both are liquid, so we will not be able to separate them using filtration. So this makes option A the correct option for this question. Question 4. What is different for isotopes of the same element? So the options are nucleon number, number of electron shells, number of electron in the outer shell, and proton number. So the definition of isotopes are atoms of the same element having the same number of electrons and protons but different number of neutrons. So if they have the same number of electrons and protons, so option C and D gets eliminated. Now, since they are atoms of the same element, so they will have the same number of electron shells as well. So option B gets eliminated, and option A says nucleon number. Now, nucleon number is a number of protons plus neutrons. The number of protons for isotopes remain the same. However, the number of neutrons is different, because of which they would have different nucleon numbers, making option A the correct option for this question. Question 5. Slate has a layered structure and can easily be split into thin sheets. Which diagram shows a structure most like that of slate? So the description of slate is the same as the description of graphite. So we have layers of graphite sliding over one another, and the structure that is similar to that of graphite is given in option A. So this should be the structure of slate. In option B, we've got a structure similar to that of diamond. In C, we've got an ionic lattice. And in D, we've got the structure of metals. So the structure of graphite is the same as the structure of slate. as given in the question, making option A the correct option for this question. Question 6. Sodium chloride is an ionic solid. Which statement is not correct? Ions are formed when atoms lose or gain electrons. Yes. When electrons are lost, the ions formed are called cations. And when there is a gain of electrons, the ions formed are called anions. Cations will have a positive charge, anions will have a negative charge. So this statement is correct. Ions in sodium chloride are strongly held together. Yes. The electrostatic force of attraction that holds the ions together is what is known as the ionic bond. So this statement is correct as well. Ions with the same charge attract each other. No, ions with the same charge would repel each other. So this statement is incorrect. And sodium chloride solution can conduct electricity. Yes, because it has free moving ions in it. So when electricity will pass through the solution, the ions will move, causing there to be conduction. So this statement is correct as well. So this makes option C the correct option for this question. Question 7. Cesium chloride and rubidium bromide are halide compounds of group 1 elements. Cesium chloride has the formula. Okay, so the options are CaCl and CsCl. So we know that Ca stands for calcium. So CaCl is calcium chloride, but since calcium belongs to group 2, the actual formula of calcium chloride should be CaCl2. So options A and B get eliminated, and the formula for cesium chloride is CsCl. Okay. Cesium chloride has the formula CsCl, a relative formula mass dash that of rubidium bromide. So the options are different from and same as. So since the elements are different, cesium and rubidium, their AR values would be different. And since their AR values are different, their MR values or formula masses will definitely be different from one another, not the same as. This eliminates option D. That of bromide and that are bonds that are dashed. So the options are ionic and covalent. So cesium belongs to group 1, chlorine belongs to group 7. They would form ionic bonds, not covalent bonds, making option C the correct option for this question. Question 8. Which element has the atomic structure shown? So we have electrons, neutrons, and the nucleus. So we've got 16 neutrons. So 16, and the number of electrons are 2 plus 8 plus 5, which is equal to 15. So the proton number will also be 15, and the nucleon number would be 16 plus 15, which is equal to 31. Looking at the periodic table, phosphorus is the element having a proton number of 15 and a nucleon number of 31, making option B the correct option for this question. Question 9. How many atoms of hydrogen are there in a molecule of ethanol? And the formula of ethanol is C2H5OH. So C2H5 has 5 hydrogen atoms and OH has 1 hydrogen atom, making it a total of 6 hydrogen atoms in a molecule of ethanol. Therefore, option D is the correct option for this question. Question 10. Which metal could not be used for electroplating by using an aqueous solution? So, electroplating by using an aqueous solution, it should be a relatively highly reactive element, and it should not commonly be used for electroplating. So the options are chromium. We know that a lot of things are metallic things are chrome plated, so it's not chromium. Copper plating is an example we study under electrolysis because we use a pure copper anode and impure copper actually pure copper cathode, impure copper anode, and copper sulfate as solution. So copper plating does take place, silver plating also does take place, and all of these metals are very much less reactive than the group 1 and group 2 metals. And then we have sodium, one of the most reactive metals in the reactivity series, the second most reactive after potassium. So sodium will not be used for electroplating by using an aqueous solution, because when sodium would be placed in water, it would vigorously react with water, forming sodium hydroxide and releasing hydrogen gas. So the correct option for this question is option D,